Buongiorno. Dash and lawyers hopes a dash. 92 point across the whole page. Oh, that's the font size. He's fucking 92 point? That's huge! That's like bigger than fucking what's the famous one where the paper got the election results wrong? Famous photo election. I don't even remember like what the deal was with that. Dewey defeats Truman. Yeah, that's right. This is a serious blow, Susato. Unless we're able to identify the true culprit and substantiate our claim with evidence, the judge will give his ruling, and the trial will be over. But that's impossible, is it? Is it impossible? We don't even know how the crime was committed yet. Impossible though the task may seem, we have no choice. We must find a wine glass that was missing. We must think back to everything we've learned thus far. Somewhere in all those details, I'm confident we'll find the clue we need. Yes, yes. She fucking stood up off the stool. That's the thing, too, is that the testimonies contradict each other, because he said that she was up and pushed to the floor before being stabbed, and she said that she was just sitting on her stool and stood up and had a knife in her back. Somewhere amid... Guys, like, I get it. Tutorial and such, but, like, if you have the reeds far enough apart that you can get a camera lens through, a knife could very easily... Where was the real culprit hiding? I know how!
Objection!
You're gonna use the picture and point at that.
Yeah. I respectfully ask you to postpone your adjudication for the time being. Oh, to what end, counsel? The defense would like to present the court with an alternative theory. Essential oils. Bullshit. Guilty. Who the victim was actually trying to implicate with her dying gesture. An alternative theory? Now you're gonna tell me that the Earth is flat! Which we knew was not the case even back in the 1800s.
Yeah, because of C.
Fucking, they knew it as far back as ancient Rome. Like, this is old news. There was someone else present in this. I got so distracted by that. Fucking, who could have committed this crime? What? And the victim, Miss Brett, tried to reveal who it was to those around her at the time. What? By mustering all her remaining strength and pointing a trembling finger in the killer's direction. What? This is fiction! Fantasy! Very well. As you seem so sure of yourself, counsel, and because I fucking hate Aoichi-san, I am prepared to hear your alternative theory. So, young Ryotaro Naruto. Yes, Your Excellency? You will present your latest theory to the courts by means of this plan. Yes. My theory is the moon landing was faked. The what landing? Where exactly are you proposing the culprit was concealed? Do. Naruto-san would never give up, and I'm a Naruto now. I've married him. In my mind. The true culprit who fatally stabbed Miss Brett was concealed in this location here. Are you mad, counsel? You're suggesting the culprit was outside the hut. What? Oh my god. But student lawyer Naruto and San Esquire? That makes no sense at all. You had just pointed out the exact spot where I was hiding to get my scoop snap. Yeah, that's the whole point. I didn't see any suspicious individuals loitering about. I could swear to that. Obviously, if the culprit had been outside the hut, there's no way that he or she could have stabbed the victim who was inside that. I thought he was for sure gonna be like, there's no way they would have been seen without the reporter being able to see him. Which is actually something they've argued in an Ace Attorney case before. It's really fucking stupid. But, yeah, there's a case in the Investigations games, which are fucking horrible, where the killer ran through a hallway into a room, and supposedly the person that we are accusing of being the killer and another detective are supposed to be guarding that room. And so the logical conclusion when you say that, when they ask who could have seen them as they ran in the room, would be the detective, right? Mm-hmm. No! They want you to accuse the person that you're accusing of the killer. Because if she had been fucking running into the room, then she would have seen herself! And just, it's so backwards, and honestly, that's the whole game, because it was the first time that team had made an Ace Attorney game, and it's just like, the logic is so fucking backwards so much. Ugh, I hate the first Ace Attorney Investigations game. Actually, Prosecutor Oichi, there is a way, and this seems really fucking obvious. And, in point of fact, the defense can prove evidence strongly suggesting that is precisely the way Miss Brett was killed. You're bluffing! You're bluffing, you yokel! For once, I'm not, you bitch. The defense's assertion is clearly too fantastical for the court to comprehend. You will need to give us more guidance, counsel. What piece of... Okay, so this one I think is the picture of the of the murder scene, because then you can point to the gap in the back. Like, that seems... yeah. Take that! Slap. What? My God! The original photographic print of the crime scene? Yes. It's clearly visible in this print. The trace of the fatal thrust that was delivered from outside the beach hut. Do you take us for fools? There's no hint of any such thing! I'm not sure that everyone present would agree. Someone, at least, appears to have noticed what it is that I'm referring to. Soseki-san? I've remembered another traumatic event from my backstory. Counsel, once again I must call on you to be explicit for the court. We're all stupid as fuck. We need to get it in our thick skulls. Where on this photograph is the trace of the stabbing, which you claim took place outside the hut? Right there. Right there. The fucking big-ass gap. Like, dude, that's huge. In the screen at the back of the hut, you can see the effects of a blade having been forced through the reeds.
Not only that, you can kind of see the blood.
Oh, dude. Oh, I missed that. Mm-hmm. It's true that the hut in question had 4 walls, as you'd expect. However, by parting the reeds, a knife blade could easily penetrate them. That's kinky. It's a hole in the wall where the boys can see it all. Yes. The true culprit actually stabbed the victim from outside the beach hut. The knife came from inside the house, or outside the house. And of everyone present at the scene, there is only one person who could have done that. Only one person who was directly outside the hut when Miss Brett was killed. Because we have photographic proof of it. Right in
And he kept
Menimoma.
saying it.
Yeah, right in Menimoma-san. It could only have been you. Honestly, anytime that someone tries to give evidence that they couldn't have been the killer when they actually did do the killing, it always is the most embarrassing. Because, like, that evidence ends up biting them in the ass every single time. Mm-hmm. Like, if he had not taken the picture, he would have been completely alibi-free. Or not alibi-free, but he wouldn't have any reason to have been like, yeah, I was the one at the scene. Like, we wouldn't even been able to point to him. Mm-hmm. This preposterous idea leaves me almost speechless. Almost. I'll still fucking run my blabby mouth. Just look at the photograph again! The victim almost lies exactly in the center of the beach hut, does she not?
Are we to assume, as part of this farcical scenario, that the assailant was a knife thrower?
No, of course not. God damn, she's so fucking cute.
I know. Look at her!
So fucking cute! I think I just have a uniform fetish, honestly. If you recall the testimony of the defendant about the events just before the victim's death.
Inside the beach hut, I can't even remember my own my voice. I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable. Holy shit, you're right!
Have another look at the photograph. See, look! A stool. Also, there's poop on the ground. There's the stool. Holy shit, you're right, that's a lot of blood! How did we miss that? Would align perfectly with the back of the person who was sitting on that stool. Holy shit, how the fuck did we miss that? Killed while sitting on that stool by a stab wound to her back, delivered through the reed screen. It penetrated one of her fucking lungs! Must have been like a Bowie knife. Having been attacked, Miss Brett rose to her feet instinctively. This is about what had been with the time of the Alamo, right? That's early 1800s. But then, unable to speak, she collapsed on the floor in the middle of the hut.
Yeah, because she was drowning in her own fucking blood.
And Bonnie, yeah, you only need like one lung to live. I'm sure she should probably be fine. She's fine, right? This is just a stabbing case we're being involved in, right? Not like
Well,
a murder.
if you don't stop the bleeding, it goes into the other lung.
That seems like stupid design. What righteous and kind God would ever design our lungs like that?
I don't know, probably the same one that designed flies that can burrow into children's eyes.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to go with the fact that our fucking breathing tube and our eating tube are the same, because, like, you can separate those, but evolution has never needed to, so it doesn't. I take it you don't deny the charge. I do deny the charge. This court case is going to go on for another 2.5 hours, because fuck you! I feel like this is the natural conclusion, though. Like, if we still need to kind of establish how the poison got in. But, like, other than that, I don't think there's fucking anything else. Like, we've kind of connected everything. Actually, that's a good point. I think we do need to fucking do more with the poison, but that's it. It appears that we have a tacit admission of guilt from the witness. Accordingly, this court has successfully established the truth of this matter, which means that the defendant, Mbabe-san, is innocent of the crime. Holy shit, I did it. I finally made him cave. I must say, I've never been more proud.
No! This can't be! You itchy clan can't! What of my growth? My growth of hope!
Fall.
It was an aberration! I can't accept this, I won't!
I see no reason for the continuance of this trial. I will therefore move to conclude proceedings by delivering my final... Yeah, I know. He's got to have one last surge before he has the breakdown.
Well, this is all very convenient. This is how the highest court in our mighty empire delivers justice, is it? Suppressing well-meaning citizens' freedom to speak and branding them as criminals. I have the right to press. Right to free speech.
Honey, this is Japan.
Oh shit, you're right.
We've established that the victim was stabbed from outside the hut through the reed screen walls. And no one but you was in that place at that time to have his hand on the hilt of the blade. It's a perfectly logical deduction.
So, your argument hinges on the location of whoever stabbed the Englishwoman, does it? Do you have photographic proof that I was there?
Yes, actually I do. Irrelevant.
Where she was stabbed, how she was stabbed, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether she was stabbed at all makes no difference if you think about it. After all, Miss Charles...
Oh my god. These trials already shown the whole thing hinges on something. I can't do deep Italian because it just turns into Russian. What are you talking about?
Brace yourselves, little man. I'm talking about the fact that everything's changed because of the dirt you dug up.
What did I do? Enough obscurity. Explain yourself, witness.
No! I'm talking about poison! Poison for Cusco! Cusco's poison! That poison. Let's ask the professor for a comment on the situation, shall we? I understand that a deadly poison you are developing was stolen from the laboratory, correct? And it's been shown that this poison was administered to the victim, Miss Brett. Is that right?
So far, so good, yeah. This unusual constriction of the victim's pupils are a sure sign that this particular poison was used.
I see. So, presumably that means that the victim already had the poison in her body before she was stabbed.
What? Yeah, okay. Given that her pupils were clearly constricted, it seems highly likely, yes.
But she did not die from poisoning. She died from hemorrhaging.
Oh, that's the point, then. She'd been dead already. The poison could not have circulated in her blood.
How refreshing to hear the argument of a metropolitan mind. Precisely. It matters not a jot who stabbed whom, in whose back, and with whose blade.
Get to the point.
Because, quite simply, the Englishwoman's wife was taken not by the knife, but that we literally have proof that it was not.
But that can be explained by the poison being in the blade, as I already...
Forgotten already, have we, yokel? During these very proceedings, the laboratory of the professor at your side assisted in proving that the blade of the weapon used to attack the victim had no trace of poison in it whatsoever.
This actually strikes a lot of similarities to the first game, then. Because it feels like she was poisoned, but, like, it didn't do what he thought it would, and so he had to go through and stab it.
Yeah,
Whereas
and then
in the
that
first
brings
game,
up the first question. He still committed the murder.
Yeah.
But he's the one that stabbed her and killed her.
That's the
Doesn't
thing
matter about the poison. The poison was an attempt. It was an
yeah,
assault.
I think that's the argument that they're going to go for, is that even if the reporter stabbed her, she died of the poison, and because of that, she technically is not guilty of the murder.
So let me get this down. The facts, as skillfully established by the defense in this trial, turn out to be a headline-making red herring. Is that about right?
Well? See, I still don't... Yeah, I think the problem is, I still don't see that the problem here is that everything still connects to him. Order! But where does this leave us? How, in that case, did the poison enter the victim's body? There's an undeniably obvious answer to that. The lady most likely imbibed it. Fucking... You could just say drank. You know that, right? Have another look at the photograph here. As you can see... Glaze. A bottle of carbonated water! Carbonated water! Totally not wine! And the glass had been knocked onto the sandy
I guess
floor
it is
of
the sand.
Carbonated water, fucking hell. I get that putting alcohol in your game is gonna raise the rating, but like, come on. So somebody made Miss Brett drink it.
Well, what do you know? Look at those dashing eyes. This would make a great front page shot.
He's just
I
like,
still think she killed herself.
I don't know. Like, I think the poison was in the pen vial. We don't have enough proof for that specifically. But, like, I don't think it's a suicide. Like, she definitely didn't seem like the type of person that would do that, is the thing.
After all, I'm the last person you should be looking at.
It's also possible that she could have had the antidote as well and thought maybe of...
Yeah.
Or was it an antidote? No, it was a detector.
Well, yeah, we have a detector. And that's the other thing is that I think that we might be... Like, it's very similar to the poison from the first game, which was developed by Swan Lady, but I think this one was developed by a collective group, and also it does a little bit different things. Established? What are you talking about?
The establishment! Don't tell me you've forgotten! That's a little hard to believe, given the person who established it. It was you!
Me? What on earth does he mean?
Oh, let me capture those waters! This is prime press for the disease.
So I think the argument actually is going to be because the death was by hemorrhaging, the actual pulling of the knife out is what killed her, and so thus technically the defendant is the one that killed her.
That's great! It's great! Let me get a shot of that magnificent beard, Your Excellency.
Claim it to be impossible that you were the one responsible for administering the poison to the victim. The poison for Cusco. You will explain to the court that in your testimony, the basis upon which you make such a claim.
I'm a journo, and I'm a man. I've never tried to run or hide from anything in my life. And I'm not about to start now, because that's minimalism.
For a brief moment, I thought I'd illuminated the truth, but it's all slipped right back into obscurity again. Now he's just kind of the last throes of death of a fucking cornered animal. Just where is this trial going to take us? Fucking, I hope not too many more twists and turns. What do you mean, to be continued? There's another fucking day of this trial? Fuck off!
Yeah, and it's almost 3. You should probably take your shower.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for joining us side by side, please. I drink water.
That was my wife.
See y'all next time with more Rise of 32. Resolve!